All right, let's see if we can get this party started. Good evening to everybody. See some familiar faces on here tonight. Jim Morris, I want to congratulate him on purchasing 250 copies of the book, Flip the Switch. Stepped up to the big boys league right there, Jim. Today's been a good day for us. We moved some copies of that book, so I want to say thank you. That's going to earn him a trip on Super Coach Airlines.
Congrats to you.
All right, we're going to let some folks jump on tonight. If you do have your, I just actually finished Flip the Switch boot camp today. We had a great group at the lodge, about 30 people that came from all over the country to the lodge and spent the day with us. We had some people come in from Canada. So now they've opened up those borders, Brock. They've opened up those borders. No, Coach Burt can go up to Canada now. No vaccination required up there, folks. So I'm going to be going to Canada at some point, but I do want to welcome you to tonight's webinar. And I think it's going to be an important webinar because as we end the year, we are gearing up for next year. And what I find, David Lee, is that where there's no evaluation from year to year, people just go out and repeat the exact same things. Whether it's working or not working, they literally just go out and do the same thing next year that they did this year and hope that it works. Okay, so this is a precursor to a real boot camp that I'm doing on December the 9th. Okay, so on December the 9th, I'm actually going to be doing a full day at Lodge, helping you map out your 2023. And I'm going to put you through some of the same structures I use when I'm ending one year and mapping out my next year. Okay, so tonight is a pre-course to the December 9th course. If you would like to come December the 9th, I want you to message Eric White, who's going to be on here with us tonight, eric@coachburt.com. I do believe we are going to be streaming that virtually, so you can get a virtual ticket to spend a full day with me, because here's what I find. If you're an entrepreneur out there and you're kind of doing this on your own, or you have a team of people, a lot of people never go through this process because they don't have someone to facilitate this process. So the reason I created this webinar and the reason I created the boot camp on December the 9th is to facilitate you working through a structure, okay? And you really getting clarity on what you're trying to do. Why are you trying to do it? What's working? What's not working? Okay, we want Ruth Lynn to have another stellar year. She's coming off back-to-back best years of her life in her business. And we want 2023 to be even bigger. We all want 2023 to be bigger, okay? So tonight I'm going to be working through some structures. I'll be asking you some questions. And like I said, we want to enroll you for the December 9th event. I'm going to be having a big concert on December the 10th. I'm working on the artists. So the people that come into the 9th are going to get access to the December 10th private party at the lodge as well, and that will be a major country music artist. Everybody that purchases 250 copies of the book is going to get access to that. And that night, I think people will get VIP access for people that purchase 50 plus copies, because we're trying to move that book, okay, and get it in people's hands so it can change people's lives. Okay. All right, we're going to start off tonight, and I'm going to actually stream this over to Facebook as well. So Eric, I'm going to be streaming it over to Facebook so we can capture any people that are on the ride home. And sometime when you stream it to Facebook, people will jump on there that maybe didn't get in, that maybe didn't get in on the Zoom, but we want to reach more people. We don't need more money. We need more people, folks. And that's going to be a t-shirts that I print. That's going to be on everything. You don't need more money. You need more people. The game in business is, how do we get access more people? Okay, at the end of the day, that's really what we're trying to do. Okay, thank you, Ruth Lynn. Thank you for spending that time with us. So when you think about this, when you watch a lot of things I do, William, it starts with the real simple premise. And the premises I have, Julia, is we don't need more money. We need more people. Money changes hands when problems are solved. The bigger the problems, the more money people will pay to solve that problem. And part of the strategy as I go into 2023 is I literally sit down with my wife in Florida 3 weeks ago, and I begin to map out, and I ask these questions I want you to write down. What do I love doing? Out of everything I do, what do I love doing? Okay. And I'm going to use a term. I think Brock really liked this when I shared it, or somebody did. ROE, return on my energy. A lot of people have ROI, return on investment. I actually operate on ROO, return on objective. But when I'm mapping out my year for next year, I actually ask, what's a return on my energy? How much energy will it cost me to do something? So I start by answering these 4 questions. What do I love doing? And I'm going to add a caveat to that in just a second. Number 2, what do I think we can be the best in the world at? What do I think we can be the best in the world at? Number 3, how do we fulfill our economic engine? Okay, what will our dominant focus be next year? What number am I trying to hit? Okay, I'm trying to get the coaching business to 10 million in revenue. A very small number of companies get to 10 million. You know, just so you know, 4% of all companies will drive a million of revenue. Then that number goes down smaller. Obviously, at 5 million, it goes down to smaller at 10 million. Then it goes down real low when you get to 20 million and above. And so I asked, what will drive our economic engine? What are my financial targets? Okay, because getting to 10 million may require more bandwidth, more coaches, more salespeople, more infrastructure. And then I asked this big question: what am I supposed to be doing? And this is the conscience question. Am I supposed to be doing more with kids? Am I supposed to be doing more with couples? Am I supposed to be doing more purpose to profits? Am I supposed to be doing, right? What am I supposed to be doing? See, there's a different question you ask as you get a little bit older. You go from just wanting to make money to how can I make an impact? And when I ask the question, what am I supposed to be doing? That's a much bigger question. It's like, now let's get past the minor leagues and let's ask the big question. Okay, how am I supposed to be using my talents in the world? Okay, now the other thing I ask is, what is highly enjoyable and highly profitable? Okay, so if I'm looking back at 2023, I start asking myself, what was highly enjoyable and what was highly profitable? Did I enjoy doing virtual summits? Do I enjoy coaching at the lodge the most? Do I enjoy being on the road? Do I enjoy being away from my kids? Do I enjoy speaking? Do I enjoy, I'm doing some consulting now with people who want to coach and write books, where I'm more of an advisor and a consultant, which is a new thing I'm doing. So I step back and I go, what problem do I want to solve in the world that is both highly enjoyable and it is highly profitable? Okay, I spent 4 years in the prison system, and it was meaningful and it mattered, and they compensated me well. But after 4 years of that, I go, this ain't the problem I'm supposed to be solving. Just because you can solve a problem doesn't mean that's the problem you're supposed to be solving. Okay, so the marriage here, as I'm doing an autopsy on the year, is, man, where did we really hit it this year that I enjoyed? And going forward to next year, what do I want to stop doing? Okay, what do I want to stop doing? And I go, you know what? It's just not the problem I want to solve. Okay. And if you are trying to collect money from other people, we were counseling, Eric and I were counseling a really, really sharp dude yesterday. And I'm looking at him being one of my consulting clients, where I consult him on building his business. But I can't figure out why I would give you any money. I don't really understand what your real skill set is. and you haven't made it clear when you're marketing what problem you solve and for whom, and who would pay you to solve that problem. You're polished, you're positive, you got great networks, but man, I can't figure out why somebody would pay you. And so you got to ask yourself, if money changes hands when problems are solved, what problem in 2023 do I really want to solve? Okay. And who would write me the largest check for that problem? Okay. And I think as we go, we're getting clearer and clearer and clearer. Okay. So these are some big questions. What do you love doing? What are you good at doing? Where is there a need in the world? What are you supposed to be doing? So I start there. And then I actually put my free days on the schedule first. And let me tell you why this is real important. The artist cannot sing 365 days a year. The athlete cannot perform at a peak level 365 days a year. So what I actually want to do is put days on my calendar that are protected for me to rejuvenate, for me to be fresh. So I operate like an athlete, like an artist, like an entertainer. And I learned this from Dan Sullivan. I have 3 types of days. I rest completely off from the business. I practice backstage preparation, strategy, and I perform. And the goal is to be so impactful when I'm performing that it makes it easy to sell something. Okay. For example, I did Pray Drive today at the lodge, and man, it was incredibly impactful. I just took it to a little bit higher level today, and I'm trying to be more transformational with these boot camps so that it moves the needle. Now, let me tell you what that does. It makes it a lot easier for Eric White to sell the coaching. When I hit it really hard and I'm really good in that room, well, guess what I can't do, Jim Morris? I can't be tired and do that. I can't be frustrated and do that. I can't be exhausted with no sleep and do that. I can't have conditions that are not optimal for me to do that. I got to be in a rhythm and have all the conditions right for me to be my best, so it makes it easier for us to sell our product and service. Okay. And so some of you, when you're planning your year, man, you're just overbooked, you're overscheduled, you're over irritated, you're over exhausted. And the artists just can't perform when you don't. So when I sat down with my wife last week to plan out next year, I said, man, I want to put enough free days on here, and I want to really protect these days. Okay. So that when I do perform, I perform at a very high level, like an artist, like an athlete, like an entertainer. And I don't need to schedule back to back things. Okay. So for you, you may go into the year and you may be thinking, man, I'm overbooked, I'm overtaxed, I'm overexhausted, I'm too leveraged in my time, I don't get enough sleep, I don't have time to self. And in 2023, you may say, look, man, I ain't doing that next year. Okay. I'm taking a day to myself. See, I came into this year and I violated my own terms. I told myself I was going to have 1 day a week during the week that I could do whatever I wanted to. No schedule, no coaching, no nothing. Just a day for Coach Burt. Ruth Lynn, how long do you think it took for me to violate that and sell those days? See, I told myself, Joshua and Kristen, that I need a day every week just to keep to myself, and I'd be dang if I didn't go right out and book those days, right? And sell those days. And now the next thing you know, man, I'm coaching every day. I'm sitting there telling myself, I can't be my best when I do this. So only you can make these decisions, but I want you to think about this cycle: resting, practicing, performing. And when you perform at such a level that it really moves the needle in people's lives. Right? And they go, dang, now that was good. I would pay more money for that. Okay. We people, Jim Morris went to the, you went to the Ed Milet thing on Saturday, right? Well, we had 2 people that stayed over. Was that pretty good? It
was okay.
Okay. We had 2 people that went to that, and then they stayed over. They were from Canada, and they stayed over and came to my Pray Drive event today. And I was just saying, you guys went to that and they just blurted out in front of the whole group. It ain't as good as this, coach. This has been better than that. And I was like, now we're talking. Now, here's my point. When I interact with you, thank you, Julia. When I interact with you, how impactful is it to move the needle in my life so that I want to go tell other people about it? And my point I'm trying to drive home is you look back over this year, if you're overworked and overstressed because of your schedule, then you can't be that impactful because you're tired, irritated, and you don't have enough time to really impact another person's life. Okay. So that's really what I'm trying to drive home. We're talking about visioneering. We're talking about mapping out your year for you to be your best. Okay. How many of you would say that you got to change some of the conditions from this year to next year to be your best? Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today. Okay. Now, having said that, let's get into some key things you have to decide. Okay. And let me answer this question because I want it to be interactive. What's the ratio of percentage of days? Here's what I would tell you, Brock. The football player only plays one game a week. They rest one day, they practice 4 days, they perform one day. And one of those days is typically it's not even in pads, right? And so think of it like if you're speaking every day or you're coaching every day or you're trying to sell real estate and speak and do this. And what happens is you just, it runs you so thin that when you're with people, you don't have enough time to prepare properly. You don't have enough time to deliver properly. And that diminishes the value where people go, well, that was good, but it wasn't that good. And I don't know if I pay money to go see it again. You see where I'm going with that? Okay. Thank you, Julia. That's good. So this is what I'm asking you. So let's look at some mindsets I want to shift here though. Okay. Okay. Because we're talking about what's working and what's not working. What worked this year and what's not working. Well, let's go through some mindsets. Now I'm going to call these the Pray Drive motto. And the Pray Drive motto, Anthony Starks, is we go to bed tired. We wake up hungry. It all goes to zero at midnight. This is just a mental trick you can play on yourself. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. And it's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. This is the motto of the Pray Drive person. Okay. Then we've got to tell ourselves, it's very important in today's economy, that there is no shortage. There is no shortage of money. There is no shortage of opportunity. There is only a shortage of creativity. There is only a shortage of initiating. There is only a shortage of Pray Drive. Okay. Because I watch many of you guys on here. You do not have a talent problem. You either have a marketing problem or a packaging problem. Many times it's a marketing problem. It's like you're already really talented. You just haven't figured out how to get your message out to the market in more ways so you can monetize it. Okay. So you're highly talented, yet you're undercapitalized. Okay. And that's really the problem we have. So if you're saying that's me, you may need to think, how do I improve my marketing in 2023 to become more known, to become more visible, so that I'm not the best kept secret in the world? Okay. For some people, that just needs to be a big emphasis of yours. Okay. All of us need to get better at. Okay. So what we got to do is we got to stay in creation mode. We got to stay out of catastrophizing and we got to stay in creation mode. And creation mode says, man, I can create. It's interesting because I'm trying to make this book a bestseller. And like I said, Jim bought 250 copies, and I think Brent Go from EXP is going to buy 250 copies. And then let's see who else today brought. We had a guy who wanted to buy 500 copies today, who was at the lodge. And here's the deal. When I was going through that training to prepare for that, one of the trainings was on nothing but affirmations. And you know what the affirmations were, Carol Johnson? I am a best-selling author. I have something valuable to say. I've spent my whole lifetime preparing to help other people. I'm going to get this book in as many people's hands as possible. This book will change people's lives. It actually starts in the mind. All things are created twice, first mentally, then physically. This is why, Anthony, before you get ready to make your offer on the 11th, you got to tell yourself, I am an expert at this. I have years of experience. People are counting on me to show up and grow up and deliver. I can manifest this. It all, see, when you're visioneering something, you go there in the mind before you go there in the body. All things are created twice, first mentally, then physically. So I first say I stay in creation. Now, let's go to something called the fundamental relationship here, and I want you to write this down. And the fundamental relationship says you have unique skills, attitudes, and habits. Okay. There is someone who is dying to have those. There's somebody out there who's dying to have these attitudes, skills, and habits. The fundamental relationship says in 2022, how well did we get our knowledge, skills, and habits to the people who needed it? And in 2023, how do we distribute our knowledge, our skill, our desire, and our confidence to the right people? And let's use another term, people who would write us the largest check. Okay. Now that could be over the course of a year, like you look at your top client. Okay. So take your top client that you had this year in 2020. What are we in 2022? And you ask, what are they paying me this much money for? Why are they paying me versus other people? What is it that I'm bringing to the equation that they feel like they can't get anywhere else but with me? Okay. How much fun do I have working with them? See, I have this client up in Michigan named Derek Fosse. He's a big mortgage guy, and I love working with him. I love it. He's hungry. He's humble. He's coachable. He's constantly in there fighting. He's got high prey drive, right? And he's invested, I don't know, $150,000 in our coaching over the last year or two. And it is the perfect fundamental relationship between our skill set of activating prey drive and his need, which is staying motivated during the mortgage world that's going on right now, and his desire to bring that to his team. So he's hungry, he's humble, he's coachable. He has an ambition and we have a skill. And see, when you go into 2023, it's like, all right, how do we match this up to where it's the perfect marriage? So think about your favorite client that potentially invests the most money with you, that you love working with. And you say, man, I take 100 of these. I'd take 100 of these. Okay. Like my two Sues over in St. Louis. I like working with my two Sues. They're hungry, they're humble, they're teachable. Most of the people on here are hungry, humble, and teachable. Now I want you to think about your worst client. The ones that drain your energy, the ones that don't celebrate you, the ones that don't appreciate you. And I want you to step back and I want you to say, who do I love working with and who values us the most? And why do they value us? And how do we go out there and get some more? Now, we call this the blue marlin strategy, right? We got bluegills, which are little fish. And we got blue marlins, which are big fish. Got that from Scott Nagy. I had lunch with him on Sunday. I said, I still give you credit, big guy, because you're the one that told me blue marlin versus bluegill. He said, Coach, you ain't got to give me credit anymore. And I said, nope. Proper credit goes to people who said it. So you gave it to me. I'm going to keep giving you credit for it. But just think about that. Who do you love working with that's a blue marlin? And who sucks all of the life and energy out of you that doesn't really appreciate or value your skill sets? Because in 2023, we want to go blue marlin fishing. And we want to go where we feel celebrated, not tolerated. Right? Celebrated, not tolerated. Like I'm thinking of a relationship right now. Man, I just kind of feel tolerated. I don't like feeling that way. So in 2023, you know what I said? They're out. They're out. They ain't doing that, man. They can go somewhere else and tolerate somebody else other than me. Okay. Okay. I bring something valuable to the equation. That's what you need to be telling yourself. Okay. So biggest checks in Blue Marlins. Who was it for you this year? Now, I want you to look at the biggest month that you had this year. And I want you to write down 1 to 3 reasons why you think that was the biggest month you've had. What was happening? I want you to write out what was happening. Did you have incredible momentum? Did you have a key relationship with somebody? Did you have large numbers of people? Did you come up with a concept or structure that hit? Take the biggest month of this year. Okay. We did 2 months where we did over 750,000 in 2 of my months this year. And that's really unheard of for a coaching business to do that. My goal would be to get us to 1 million. I've done 1.3 million in 1 month. But 750 in a month is not bad. And so I asked myself, what did we do in those months? We had some key relationships. We got in front of large numbers of people. We really connected. Okay. These are the elements of success when you look back and go, okay, how do we replicate this? How do we replicate this? Okay. Now I want you to take your worst month of this year. And I want you to say, why did I have a bad month? If you're doing an autopsy, Jim Collins always talked about this in Good to Great. Always do an autopsy, which is look back and go, what happened? I got distracted. I didn't have any key relationships. We lost connection with people. I did a poor job of marketing. I didn't have enough lead time on my marketing for something. Right? Like when you have a bad month, there's a lot of learning. There's no losing. There's only learning. It's like, what did we learn, man? What do we got to get back to doing? See, Eric's on my sales team and he can tell you when he has good months and bad months. And what were the variables for a good month and what were the variables for a bad month? See, I made up my mind that when I connect to people at a high level, we have good months. So when I get off track, guess what I got to get back to? Connection. I got to get back to connection. Okay. And I had Craig went to that event on Saturday, Jim Morris. And so I had Craig make notes because I was at a couples retreat. And he sent me all of his notes from the event on Saturday with Milet and Frisella. And he said that Frisella did say that when he quit trying to make money and he started getting back to helping people, that's when he made more money. And that always reminds me, when you get focused too much on the outcome of the money and you lose connection with the people, you got to go back to connection and helping people. And anybody comes to me and says, I need some more money, I go back to connection. Go back to impact. Go back to deep intrinsic validation. Go back to what made you great, man. And sometimes we're so focused on the outcome of the money that we forget about the connection. If you'll get back to the connection, I believe you'll make the money. Okay. Now, if we were evaluating your year, I want you to write down your top 4 lead generating strategies. In order, what is your number 1 strategy for generating leads? What is your number 2 strategy for generating leads this year? What is your number 3 strategy for generating leads? What is your number 4 strategy? And I'm going to give you my top 4. I'm going to give you a second to write these down. And then I'm going to give you mine. Okay. And you say, these are my top 4 strategies that are working right now. Okay. These are generating leads. Okay. Do you know, Dr. Lee, that one of my best strategies for generating leads is this right here? Webinars. Well, guess what I got away from for 3 months this year? Doing webinars. Rakita, can you believe that? That was one of my best strategies. And I looked up and I've gone 3 months without doing a webinar like this. And I'm sitting there going, what am I doing? Like, why did I get away from doing the best strategy I have for generating interest? Like, what am I doing? This is like taking a meeting with, multiple people at one time. So what I find that we do is we have something that works, and then for some crazy reason, we get away from doing it. And we start getting away from, it's like, this is the number one thing we should be doing. Showcases, webinars, right? When I did that month of 1.3 million, you know what I was doing? I was doing Facebook Lives every day. I had a theme. I was doing 21-day series. And a guy said to me today, man, I'm doing a 5-day challenge. David Pettis, he bought 250 copies of the book today. And I think David Perez, it's David Pettis, how he says it. So I'm finally starting to say it correctly. And he said, man, I'm doing this 5-day challenge right now where I had 1,000 accountants sign up for it. And he said 300 are showing up for this 5-day challenge. I'm like, man, I need to be doing a 5-day challenge. Because if you've got 1,000 people to sign up for something, that's 1,000 leads. That's 1,000 people to call. Okay. And so I came back and I told Craig on my team, we need to be doing a 5-day Pray Drive challenge. Okay. And we need to just fill people in. And I need to get back to adding as much value to people as I can. How many of you need to get back to doing some of the things that you used to do? Right. So number one, when I'm looking at my strategies, I look back over the year, I say the number one thing I did was what we call the showcase event. And the showcase event is me in front of people, showcasing our ability to help them. Right, Beth? That's what I love about Beth. She shows up, man. I love Beth shows up. She just keeps showing up. And I love that about her. So the showcase is any opportunity for you to get in front of people to showcase your abilities. Webinars, dinner meetings, anything you can to show people what you can do for them. But many times they just got to taste the ice cream, man. They don't know how good you are until they taste the ice cream. So that's my number one strategy that worked. Okay. My number two strategy that worked that I would recommend for you guys was strategic partnership. And strategic partnership goes back to, we don't need more money, we need more people. And if I could partner with people, okay, like me and Jim are going to be doing events in Nashville next year. That's going to be new people. That's going to be new people. If I come over to North Carolina and do events with Brock, that's new people. Okay. And you don't need more money. You need more people. And if you just have people, you can figure out a way to make money. Okay. So this year, I think in just 2 weeks, I'm doing an event with Tim Story, another virtual. We got over 400 people who bought tickets to that event. That's a virtual event, right? Why did we do that? Because that's a strategic partnership. Okay. So my second strategy that worked this year was really big strategic partnerships with key influencers who had access to more people. Okay. My third strategy that worked this year, and I think some of you really need to look at this one, is the diversification of your product suite. Okay. Meaning I started to diversify my portfolio and say, you know what? We need to be in the insurance business. We need to be in the success schools for kids. We need more diversification so that we don't have just one product to sell. So we started creating new products. Okay. And I'm working on certification right now for coaches that want to be certified that we're going to roll out for January, a coaching certification. And we're going to provide the leads to the coaches because I've got more leads than I can handle and they don't have leads. So I'm trying to solve this problem for us and for them. I need more salespeople and coaches and they need leads. So what am I constantly doing, Anthony? I'm trying to come up with problems and solutions and I'm diversifying my product suite. Okay. And I could keep going on that, by the way. There's so much possibility there. You don't have to do all the work, guys. You can bring in people who want to do some of the work through strategic partnership. Now, the fourth strategy that worked this year, that was a lead generating strategy for me, was the hit list of just calling people and presenting ideas to them on how to solve a problem for them. Okay. It's just literally having an idea and presenting an idea to another person. Okay. Jay Kinder called me one day, and excuse me, Al Stasic called me one day, and I was trying to work a deal with Al Stasic and Jay Kinder of EXP. And they were coaching clients of mine. We're more strategic partners of each other's now. We have a deep respect, and I'm trying to figure out something to do with them. So I made an offer on us doing events together, and then they didn't want to travel that much. Then I did this, then I did this, and I just kept going. And finally, one day, Al said to me, "You got that book, $1 Million Follow-Up, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why don't we take that book and make it for real estate agents?" Because Hal Elrod wrote Miracle Morning, and then they came back and wrote Miracle Morning for real estate agents. And he said, "Can we just tweak your book and bring it out to the market for real estate agents?" And I said, "That's a great idea, man." So I spent one Sunday afternoon tweaking it. I sent it to them. They added their stuff to it. We packaged it up. Then it's $1 Million Follow-Up for real estate agents. Now, what can we do with that? We can do virtuals. We can use it for a funnel. We can attract leads. And you don't need more money. You need more people. See, that's a strategic partnership with a hit list idea. Everybody see that? Okay. Remember what our concept is. We need more people. How do we get more people? And then how do we have something to offer those people? So I said, here's a simple value ladder. Anthony and Rakita, this is very important. What I'm about to tell you. We use the book as an asset. We do a free 1 to 2 hour coaching session. We offer them a chance to buy the book. We bump the order and give them my book, Pray Drive, which moves it. It moves our book and my book together. We get people into a virtual full day for $47.97. And then the people that go to the virtual have access to go to a high ticket event with us at some point in the future, right? Where we do nothing but focus on creativity and the follow-up. That's how we take a book, generate leads, drive people to an activation point, offer them a low ticketed thing, 2 books plus stack it, replay of something. Then we send them to a virtual. We add more value than what the cost is. And then we invite the people who want to go deeper to a more intimate experience. Okay. And if we wanted to make it cool, an adventure stack, we go to Puerto Rico and do it, or we do it somewhere cool. And we make it edutainment. We have fun and we educate people. Everybody see that? Okay. Now, why would I do that? Introduces me to new people. Okay. Introduces me to new people. Okay. Yes, we do need that for insurance agents, 100%. So once we have a model, then we can just replicate the model. Okay. Now, if you looked at your top 4 lead generation strategies, I want you to look at your current sales for where you are year to date. And I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Have you grown the sales year over year? Top line revenue? And what is your profit margins this year? Okay. And is it enough, or are you a little disappointed that you didn't grow your top line and your bottom line more? Okay. I remember a couple years ago, I don't remember how many years ago, my accountant come to me at the end of the year and I said, "All right, how did we do?" And she said, "Well, you made 400,000 this year than you did last year." And I was so mad. I said, "Are you kidding me? Like, I worked that hard just to make 400,000 more dollars. That's it?" She thought I should be excited. And I was like, "No, I'm not excited. Like to me, we should have grown the business more than that." And I was actually frustrated that we didn't grow it more. I mean, was it good? Yes, it was good. We grew at $400,000. But I thought we exerted a lot of energy and effort just to grow at 400,000. Everybody see that? So I thought that number should be, especially when I'm seeing other people jump something. So I step back and I go, okay, how do we grow this business by $1 million more dollars? How do we grow it by $5 million more dollars? How do we jump from 5 to 10? How do we jump from 5 to 25? Everybody see that? See, a lot of people are taught to do what? Incremental growth. I grow 10% year over year. That's a good thing. We jumped 15% this year. I want you to start thinking, how do I take this thing from $1 million to $5 million? Okay. Now, I was coached by a guy named Dan Sullivan. Sullivan created Strategic Coach, and he used to have us do all these exercises that he called 10-time expanders, where we would literally sit down and take our current business and multiply it by 10 times. So if your business is doing 4 million, he said, take your business to 40 million. What has to happen for you to jump it 10 times? And his motto was, it's easier to 10 times a business than it is. He said, you could 2 times a business by working harder, but you can't 10 times it by working harder. Everybody see that? Now, once you try to 10 times it, then it starts getting your mind creative. Now, every one of you on this call is probably 10 times your business. See, I started, I made 30,000. I made $199 my first year coaching. I made 2,000 my third year. That's 10 times. Then I went from there to 24,000. That's another 10 times. Then when I started the business, I remember when I went from 50,000 to 500, that's 10,000. Then I went from here to here. You probably 10 times your business multiple times, guys, if you just went back and looked at it. Okay. So here's the deal. So he used to have us do these exercises where we literally pull out our pen and paper and we go, all right, my business is doing 3 million in revenue. How do I get it to 30 million? And we would just do structures. I need 4 more people. I need a better sales team. I need more salespeople. I need these people. I need this. And it was an exercise that constantly made you think way bigger than what you're currently at. How many of you have 2 times your business and almost killed you? Think about that. You know why? Because you just worked harder. You just worked harder. You didn't have any leverage. And we need leverage. Okay? Leverage in people, technology. And when you get frustrated enough and you've worked long enough and hard enough, you will go looking for answers to this question. Okay? Now, I want you to write down right now what's not working. What did not work this year? And I'm going to give you 5 areas to focus on. Number 1, your lead generation is not working. You're just not generating enough leads. That's a big problem for a lot of people. We got to solve that problem. Okay. Number 2, your follow-up and conversion is not working. So you're generating leads, but you're not following up and converting those leads to something. Number 3, your engagement and referrals is not working. It means you're not maximizing your networks. You're not getting 3 new clients out of your relationships. You're not, everything's very surface level. It's very transactional. So you're not going deep enough with people and impacting them for them to bring new people to the equation. Okay. Number 5, you are still obscure. And so you're not known enough. Not enough people know who you are. You don't have a person of interest strategy in place. Okay. So your lead gen is not working like it should. Your follow-up and conversion is not working. Your engagement and referrals is not working, or your marketing is not working. See, these are areas that we can go to work on. Okay. So what's working and what's not working? All right. These are all things I'm going to be doing on the 9th of December at the Lodge, where I'm going to be putting you through structures. You're going to be working through those structures. I'm going to be doing it virtually or in person. If you want to come in person, then you can come in person. But I'm actually going to sit down and map all of this out, just like I would for myself. And I'm going to be working you through that. And you're going to be sitting there filling it out, working through it. So when you're done, you have clarity over your goals, your methods and actions to get there, the structure of the business, the passive income streams, the lead generation strategies, the areas of the business that you need to improve on. We're going to be working through those at the Lodge on December 9th, called Visioneering. And you could try to do this on your own if you want to. But what I have found is that people just, man, they don't do it. They need a facilitator. to really help them with this. Okay. Now, on your piece of paper, write A to B. And many of you have been coached by me, so you know where I'm going with this. A is your current position. And we're not going to completely do this exercise now, but I want you to do it. I want you to write down at some point tonight or tomorrow everything about your current business that you absolutely hate. All of your frustration points. Right? What keeps you up at night? If you could solve this problem with a magic wand, what would it be? Okay, that's your A. Then over at your B is the ideal picture of the business you're trying to create. So let me tell you what my B would be. My passive income is between 500,000 and $1 million a year. I don't have to be involved in any sales cycle. I coach people at my lodge, my house in Florida. I fly private everywhere I go. I spend baseline with my kids every day. I'm fresh and ready to go. Okay. I have a best-selling book called Flip the Switch. My business is doing a minimum of 10 million of revenue on the coaching side. I've got a greatness factory operating up and going. That's profitable, and highly enjoyable. See, my success school is serving 10,000 kids. See, my B, what that does, and I taught this today at Pray Drive, is it activates the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is like a supercomputer, and you're telling it this is what's going to happen. In an ideal place, I'm not doing this, and I am doing this. Who's creating the business, by the way? You are. So if you're creating it, create it. The business should serve your life, not run your life. It should be a cash machine. It spits out tokens. Okay. So the reason this is important is because I got to know where you're going. What is B to you? So people tell me I got a time management problem. I'm overwhelmed. No, you have a confusion of time and you have a confusion of priorities. If you have a clear B, then every action you take is either driving you toward the B or away from the B. It's just that simple. Okay. One of my B's is that passive income, which is why you see me getting into insurance. It's why you see me opening the greatness factory. It's why you see me building certified coaches. It's why it's why you're seeing me. When you see me make moves, it's because I have a clear B of where I'm trying to get to. Everybody see that? And I'm moving toward that B. Okay. And it's a conversation that sit down with me and my wife. How much time do we want? How much do we want to live in Florida? What do we want to do with the kids? What is our goals together? Where are we trying to get to? See, this is what I'm doing. I'm sitting back and then I'm reverse engineering it going, okay, here's how we're going to get there. And every move is a move toward the B. Everybody understand? B is your ideal picture. Okay. Now, let me finish with two more things, and then we'll get you out of here tonight. Thank you guys for joining us on this. Remember, December 9th, I'll be doing this in person at the lodge, full day with the map, mapping it out with you. Okay. What key infrastructure do you need to add to hit your goals in 2023? Some of you need to add sales members, operations team, assistants. Okay. What key infrastructure do you need to add in 2023 to 5 times the business to 10 times the business? Okay. Right. Dr. Lee, you may say, I need to add one salesperson that calls all of these people. I need to add a person who can market me better. I need to add, right? Like everybody on this call needs to add somebody, most likely. You need more infrastructure. Okay. And the final question, if you had to sit down and write out one of the most powerful things I ever did. I'm tired of messing around file. Things that you have been talking about, thinking about, dreaming about, praying about, talking to other people about, complaining about. I was on a plane one night, Libby, and I was coming back from somewhere on a Southwest plane. And if you know how many miles I had on Southwest, guys, and the person beside me pulled out a whole thing of barbecue chicken wings and started eating barbecue chicken wings on the plane beside me. And they had chicken wing sauce all over their face and all over the seat. The whole back of the plane smelled like chicken wings. And I love chicken wings, but I thought it's so inappropriate. You don't eat barbecue chicken wings on a plane with all these other people around you. And I pulled out a yellow piece of paper and I said, what have I got to do to fly private everywhere I go? How much is it going to cost me? And it's going to cost at least minimum $250,000, max maybe $500,000 a year for me to fly my plane everywhere I go. Because the only reason I wasn't flying everywhere is because I couldn't justify the expense to go out west and spend that much on the air travel. And I literally just sat down and said, I am so sick. I am so sick of these things. And one of them was flying on Southwest. That was one of my things I was sick of. And I said, and then I started working backward, sick of having to schedule my own meetings. I'm sick of having to be involved in this. And I can't tell you, anytime I get tired, I look at that list of things and I said, I'm going to do something about every one of those things. And I call it my tired messing around list. Well, there's things that you are messing around with. You're dabbling. And if you would just commit to doing something, just commit to doing it, you will figure out a way to make it work. Commit to hiring the person you got to hire. Commit to doing this. And just have the boldness to go do it. You'll figure out a way to make it work. Trust me. Everybody with me? So what's the cycle? And I'll close. First, you commit. Then you get the courage. Courage don't come before the commitment. The commitment actually comes first. Because of the courage, I now get a new capability, new capacity. Because of the new capacity, I've got a new confidence about me. I've got a new confidence about me. Okay. And once you get this cycle going, guys, I'm telling you, big things are going to happen for you. Okay. Now, I know it's dinner time. I know that you guys got things going on, and I want to just thank you for coming tonight to this. I hope it's given you value. I do want to invite you to come spend a day with me at the lodge, December the 9th. I'm calling it Visioneering Your Bigger Future. I will bring the structure. You bring you. And I promise you, whether you come virtually, there's a virtual option, there's an in-person option. And then I'm going to do a big party on Saturday night at the lodge with music, people, networking. So, if you want to come in person, I'd love to have you in person and just stay over that Saturday. I know David Perez is coming in today. I talked to him. He's coming in for the event. Or if you want to come to the event on Saturday night, just reach out to me. All of you guys are like family to me. So I bought that lodge for that reason. I want people to come and celebrate, enjoy. I know you've had a tough year. I know you've muscled your way through where you are today. But I want to encourage you to finish this year strong and to just get up and just keep fighting, man. Just keep fighting and push this thing across that finish line. Push it across the finish line, regroup, and then we'll start over, right? January means new beginning. Come from the Greek goddess Janus. She had one head that looked forward to the future and one that looked back on the past. It literally means new start, fresh start, new beginning. So I'm already mapping out. I'm already scheduled out through March of next year. So if there's something you want to do with me, Jim sent me his dates for next year. You need to give me those dates because I'm already booking deep into the year for next year. And I'm already visioneering next year exactly how I want to do this. All things are created twice, first mentally, then physically. We go there in the mind before we go there in the body. So have big thoughts and take big actions. Eric White, if you're Eric White's on here, if you have questions for him, please ask him, send him a text message. I like to tell people he loves getting text messages between midnight and 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So if he's a trooper. Okay. So, but send him a text message if you want to do something with me. He can take care of you. I'm going to go see my babies and have dinner with my family. And I want to say thank you guys for being so wonderful. I love you. I appreciate you. And just know this, man, you give me my purpose. Okay. I couldn't do what I do without you. So thank you so much. God bless you guys. See you on the 9th.